Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. I am James FNX, and I'll be joined in a little bit by Hammer Bro, as we are in the third round, the round of 16, as Asazas is taking on Topplife. We've got Asazas on the left-hand side, Topplife on the right. And both these runners have had quite the route getting here. Asazas in round one defeated community favorite Andy, and in round two defeated Chimo. Meanwhile, Topplife in round one defeated one of the top seeds in Scarlet, and then took out Illis in round two. So we're getting on the ground floor here in our third round matchup. We'll be getting started in just a moment. If you haven't joined us for any of these races previously, we are running in hard standard mode. So we're going to be going through the escape. We're going to get a random weapon, and then some of the high-end safeties, your fourth level sword, your silver arrows, your shield, your mirror shield, and your armors are not going to be in the pool, and there's going to be less health available for both our runners as well. Like I said, Hammer will be joining us in just a moment here, so we'll get started and going in the escape here. We'll see what we get from our uncle if there's a weapon. Just a nice little small lunch in the first chest there from Link's house. And we do get a map check, and it'll look like 3 crystals in the light world, with Hera being a 5/6. I wasn't able to catch if Desert was one as well. Eastern is not a 5/6. Desert is a 5/6 as well. So both are 5/6 crystals in the light world. We'll see what that brings to us. As we're starting with Hammer, this is probably one of the best weapons our runners are want to see. It kills enemies very quickly. It has no ammo, so farming is great. So our runners are going to be looking for bombs as well as we find a fairy in a bottle. Fairy in a bottle is kind of a blessing and a curse. Our runners are going to enjoy having that little extra safety as we start with low health. But at some point, you may want to do a death warp to get out of a dungeon a little bit faster, and you're going to have to send that fairy on its way. Like I mentioned earlier, our runners are going to be looking for bombs in the escape, as there's 3 chests in the back that require bombs or boots to open up. And doesn't look like the guards are going to be in that item pool, as neither of our runners are looking to farm there. ₹50 in the map chest, so no love there for bombs. And while we head to our next check, if you do enjoy a little bit of wagering, our mods are setting up some predictions for you in chat if you want to spend those channel points to win more valuable internet points. A little piece of heart in the boomerang chest. Still not found that small key that we're going to find in one of these first 4 chests. And two hammer shots are going to take this ball and chain guard. Asazas, both runners having a little bit of trouble getting in that circle there to take a hit, but do get it open and do find ₹5 in Zelda Cell. And so no small key yet. We'll find that in Dark Cross, and we'll hope for some bombs off the rats here at the back of Escape. And bring us into the booth as well. And finally, Hammer Bro, welcome to the race.
Hello. Sorry about the delay there.
That's all right. You showed up a little early here. Both our runners having the hammer to start with.
Oh, well, that's nice to know that I was in here in some form or fashion. Hammer escape is always one of the best things to do, in my opinion. Makes everything relatively quick.
Yeah, you're not having the lag from fire rod shots killing things. You're not having the difficulty of trying to hit rats with arrows. It's basically the best item you can find in terms of farming enemies and getting through things quickly. The only disadvantage is it isn't bombs.
Yeah, I think bombs are fun in terms of the strats. Like when you have bomb escape, you can really see these runners just go nuts. And it's a lot of fun because there are setups that basically take almost no extra time, and it's just a blast to watch. But hammer strats are also fun. Although the key rat can be kind of interesting with the hammer hitbox and delay.
Yeah, it's not as bad as like trying to hit it with a bow and arrow, but yeah, the key rat is the bane of a lot of some of these weapon setups. Especially ones where ammo is required and you're kind of stuck trying to figure out how am I going to hit this thing.
Yeah, that key rat, I mean, it depends on where the key rat is. If you can get the key rat in that left-hand side corner, it's not usually too bad no matter what you have. It's when that sucker goes straight right that everything just kind of collapses and then you're left, even with the hammer kind of running around chasing. Going, please, please, please. Speaking of bombs, though, it looks like we're not getting any from the guard pack, and these rats are not being cooperative for top.
No, the rats are in the health pack, so they're not going to have any bombs. So we're not going to find out what's in the back of Escape until these runners come back later.
Right. So hopefully no glove back here then, because it would be unfortunate having to run through Escape again.
Yeah, unfortunate, but not unprecedented. Thankfully, this cone of vision that you get in the escape sequence in standard stays with you throughout, whether you have a lamp or not. So those 3 checks in the back are always going to be in logic.
Yeah, that's fair. That says nothing about the extra 3 minutes it's going to take to get back there, though.
Oh, and of course, when you have a bombless escape, you find bombs in the sanctuary chest. So we're leaving 2 items behind in this escape. There's a map back there as well. We've gotten a look at our crystals already. All 3 Light World dungeons are crystals, and both our 5/6s are in the Light World as well at Hera and Desert. As Azaz is going to make his way to Lost Woods. We'll see if Topplife joins in going straight to the Lost Woods or makes a check up to Lumberjack Ledge. I know there's a bit of a divergence between some of our runners on whether they want to make that check or not.
Yeah, I feel like most people don't make the check to Lumberjack nowadays unless they do have the boots super early. And thankfully Topplife did not make a liar out of me there. So we'll see. And honestly, the odds of Lumberjack being something useful is so slim that you're giving away 30 to 45 seconds every single round to just check it when you can check it late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Azaza's choosing not to grab these bombs in the Lost Woods. Topplife is going to grab them. It might save Topplife a little bit of shopping in Kakariko, but 300 rupees in the thief hideout will take care of those money issues for Zazaz.
And that's kind of something we don't really talk about all that often because generally when you get here, you have enough money or close to enough money. But walking into Kakariko with either very limited bombs, which thankfully we don't have to worry about that here, with Azazas having 3 or had 3 and Topplife having 6. And the limited money, as we pull the mitts out of Blind Hunt, it can get really interesting because you do want to spend $100 on that bottle vendor and don't want to have to come back for that. But you also want to not leave stuff behind, and you don't know if any of these checks are going to have bombs. So it can get really sticky sometimes.
Yeah, no bombs in the front of Blind Hut, but we do find both gloves and a lamp.
So that's my concerns about the back of Escape over, because with even one of those gloves, we can quickly just like run through here and not have to worry about back of Escape taking an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah, now it's just a matter of when you want to route the check-in. It is 2 items, not 3. And it is kind of isolated out of the way as we find a sword in the well and a lot more cash. So our cash worries are out of the way as well. Even leaving Kakariko, Zaza is going to have Zor money and Palace of Darkness money. So that's not going to be much of an issue as 100 rupees gets you a piece of art today.
Yeah, not the best thing, but honestly, Bottle Vendor usually doesn't have anything fun for us.
It's usually just a lesson in economics.
If by a lesson in economics you mean you give me money and now I have money, then yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Chicken Hut has a full heart container for our runners, and we have 2 more checks here in Kakariko. As we have a bottle, we get to take a look and see what our friend, the sick kid, has. What's curing his illness today? Just a piece of heart.
So at this point, we are essentially just a moon pearl away from blowing this seed wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of places that Moon Pearl can still be, though, as the back of Tavern doesn't have anything for us, and we're going to take a look at these last 2 checks. South of Kakariko, we're going to take a look at what's at the library. We can't grab it yet. We don't have the boots. And it's the Moon Pearl, so we will have early boots, which, if you say Moon Pearl and library, you're actually feeling pretty good, because it means you get to play the game at a faster speed for most of it.
Especially with the combination of having all 3 crystals in the light world, because there are very few requirements here, so you kind of get to hope that maybe you get to complete some of these crystals super early and get your Moon Pearl. Because of that, because we have boots somewhere around here, there are some unsavory locations that the boots could be in still, and that lamp is kind of giving me pause to fully celebrate, I should say, because Pyramid Ledge is one of those spots.
Yep.
Our mitts also kind of open, or at least give the first step in opening stuff like Checkerboard Cave that could be obnoxious.
Yeah, because we find Canis Samaria is one of these 2 items in the back of Escape. Canis Samaria is great. It's required for a couple dungeons and for part of Gaina's Tower, but it's just also a really good utility item, and it lets you do a lot of fun skips.
Yeah, definitely. It's required for 1 to 3 dungeons, most likely, that we may or may not have to run through, because we do need it for Turtle Rock and Mire, but hopefully one of those won't be fully required, since we do have 3 pendants in the Dark World. And it's also like helpful in a bunch of dungeons, just saves a little time and just makes everyone's life happier.
Damn, having a bottle, and we'll find out what's in the drowned item here. But you're talking about, yeah, this early lamp is always kind of a harbinger of a potential Aghanim seed, and especially with Moon Pearl being in the light world and visible but not accessible, you definitely don't want to have to do Aghanim if you don't need to, and you just kind of hate seeing the lamp early.
Yes, to some extent, but then on the flip side, all 3 of the dungeons in the light world do technically require a fire source of some sort. So, again, with all 3 light world dungeons being crystals, you're really hoping that lamp is pointing you somewhere over there instead. So I'm sure for our runner's sake, they're hoping to find something like a hook shot or mirror to kind of point us up the mountain, because we can go up there right now, and it is in logic, but we're only getting a couple of checks. Or maybe a book to go into desert, even though that's kind of iffy without the boots. But if you're looking for the boots, hopefully you just find them there.
Yeah.
Or a bow to make Eastern completable.
Yeah, it's we do have access to Eastern Palace, can't complete it, but yeah, we've like a look at a lot of dungeons, but not actually being able to like get in. We're very much on the outside looking in on a lot of places right now, which means this ice rod check is very likely to have something, as we're kind of running out of locations where things can be at.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside of the seed being not fun and requiring you to either go up the mountain or jump into Eastern without the bow, or Eastern area, we could get lucky and have Sahasrahla have something.
And just a piece of heart at Ice Rod Cave, though, so it leaves Sahasrahla's hut. I would assume that we're heading to Eastern. That's the most dense item location at this point.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Another thought is that Zora is technically within logic, and we do have the money for it. So Top Life could jump around here and do the flipper checks It would kind of be unfortunate because without the boots and without the Moon Pearl, can't do anything in the Waterfall Fairy. But that check is definitely in logic, and honestly, unless we can get the Moon Pearl or the boots, which would kind of make this whole point useless, or flippers, I guess, that's a super orphan check. So if Zora has the boots, it might be a little bit before we get to him.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to see either of these runners taking a look at doing a fake flipper without knowing that the boots are early to set up water walks, and knowing that the Moon Pearl is locked behind those boots. I can't imagine that either of these runners are going to do a water walk unless it's the very last thing they have to do. Is we find an ice rod in the back of Sarasso's closet. Don't know yet if that's going to be required or not, but always good to have that in the back of your inventory, not having to worry about it.
Yeah, that's a double-edged item early on, especially considering the fact that we only have about a 58% chance of that actually being a crystal dungeon. And if it is, you're really happy to see that item. But if it's not, you kind of start looking sideways at it like, okay, Rando, did you decide to put this here because the ice rod's an extra item and this is just where it ended up? Or did you put it here because I'm going to have to go do Pentronics?
We will see, as Azazas is the first into Eastern Palace. We're going to look at here 2 items guaranteed, potentially 3, depending on the item and dungeon item layout here in Eastern Palace, whether Armos has a item or a map or a compass. It's not the compass, because that's in our first chest.
And with that compass, hopes of a god Eastern where you don't even have to go to the Dark Realm is completely and totally dashed, unless you want to make the 50-50 gamble.
Yeah, that loop to go to the vanilla big key chest is very, very slow, especially without boots. As we find our big key in our second chest. And if we find a map here in the compass chest, there will be no gamble at all. It'll just be a definite walkover to get that big key chest and find an item in there.
Yeah, definitely. You end up getting both of the dungeon items early, and it's like, go back there. There's a check. I know it's going to take you a minute and a half. Just go do it.
There's our first item, and just a piece of heart.
Speaking of, this seat's been pretty gracious with hearts.
Yeah, as Azaz is up to 8 hearts already. We'll see if this should be Toplife's last piece of heart to go to 8 as well, as we find our second item in the big chest, just a big 20.
And the 50-50 is on. I can't imagine that either runners, well, obviously Azaz already made the move, but I imagine Toplife's going to follow him, because
there's just nothing left, really. There's like Agonist Cave in the mountain, so there's no reason not to orphan this check here at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking at, 4 checks that we can get our hands on other than this, because you've got Agona, you've got the mountain, which is 2, and then you've got Zora.
Yep.
And at this point, I guess you S and Q afterwards and you go to the mountain, because that's 2 checks and a save point, because Agona and Zora are just both terrible.
There's the mirror. We're definitely going to the mountain now. That will open up Tower of Hera for us.
Yeah, that's quite a bit more significant. Now 2 checks have gone to like 12 and a dungeon.
Yeah, with this hammer and this mirror, we'll be able to check everything in the light world of Death Mountain other than Ether Tablet.
Yeah, speaking of orphaning checks, but walking up here and not having the book and having to orphan Ether Tablet is relatively common, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Azaz is going to take this opportunity to take a look at Lumberjack Ledge. Having this lamp in possession, we know this can't be the boots, but it could be something valuable.
Yeah, basically. Essentially, Azazas has the boots at this point, because you know you're going to get them in the next, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how terrible the seed decides to be.
Yeah, it does turn out it does have value, and that value is 1 rupee. 1 rupee is also what our bush crabs are throwing out today, so not going to worry about farming those at any point. Top Life doing the same thing is going to take a look at Lumberjack Ledge and then head up the mountain. Really good place to fit this check-in. You're already in this area, and you're already kind of smelling that it might be an Aghanim seed for one reason or another. Not a bad time to kind of take the walk up here when you're only having to go back 1 screen to get where you're going.
Yeah, that's a good point. Both runners making the choice because, again, if this is here, then you know that you're looking for either a cape or a sword to try and get that item because we're almost there in terms of
Speaking of swords, the old man has given us 1 quantity 1 sword. So we're a master sword now, and Aghanim's tower is in logic.
Well, there we go.
So those boots have a lot of places they can be, and one of them now is Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're really happy that the number of checks has gone up significantly because that makes stuff like Aghanim, Zora, and the potential for Pyramid Ledge down the road less likely. But then, speaking of, oh wow, okay, so
pendants in the north side. We have a green pendant at Skull Woods, and then Pod and Turtle Rock are other 2 pendants. So that ice rod is going to taunt our runners a little bit.
That's kind of a terrifying combination. I think it would be a little worse if Green Pendant were Thieves Town instead of Skull Woods, but you basically have what essentially amounts to an overworld dungeon in Skull Woods. Then you have Pod, which likes having things in its pendant form.
There's our boots here. So no shenanigans today. No long-term silly chains to try and find these boots. We find them right here in the basement of Hera. That mirror was required to get up here. So both the runners taking the required path to get along here. And Asazas is not finishing Hera yet. That's an interesting choice.
I don't blame Asazas. I don't know about like completely not finishing Hera, but without the hookshot, he's gonna have to come back this way anyways. And it's much better to do this with the Moon Pearl because then you can do at least some of the Dark World stuff. We don't have the hookshot yet. Hopefully, we'll get it soon. And
yeah, that does make a lot of sense when you think about it. So. You are gonna have to take another trip up the mountain. It's gonna be a little bit faster. You got that save and quit point. So Asazas does grab his Moon Pearl, and we're off to the races now. As the world is the oyster that was around that pearl. But one of the things about this pendant layout is that Fire Rod is not necessarily required. It could be ending up in Ganon's tower. It could be anywhere in the world, really. Bombos will let us get an Ice Palace if we find that, and then Skull Woods and Turtle Rock both being pendants means that no Fire Rod is required to beat a boss to get up to the Ganon's tower.
That's a terrifying thought. This is one of those things that might test your ability to do that right side bomb jump in GT.
Yeah, we've seen that decide a couple races in this tournament, actually. At Overworld Dungeon here in Skull Woods, the front of Skull Woods has a bottle with a fairy. That's our 3rd bottle now. A couple fairies and a bee in those.
Yeah, and both runners are just kind of hoping that they're going to be able to grab a hook shot and then go up the mountain and complete the full thing.
So. Yeah, absolutely. I'll get a look here at Bumper Ledge, just a piece of heart, so not going to be worrying about that. Top Life skipping out on even checking Skull Woods at all, while Asazas is going to make this set of checks over here. Can check King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge, and Bonk Rocks along the way, and not have to do a save and quit and look at those in the Light World, the 2 bonkable locations. So a little bit more thorough here from Asazas than Top Life.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because if there's nothing over in this direction, which at least so far for Asazas, it doesn't seem like there is, Top Life is going to get a little bit of time here. Assuming that Toplife doesn't then turn around and do all the stuff that Asazas is doing now. I imagine he'll do boots checks eventually, but those are much more quick than having to run through Skullwoods and the like.
Right. So. Yeah, Toplife did have a little bit worse enemy RNG and escape, and did lose about 30 seconds in there. So that's kind of the difference we're at right now between these two runners. Is it took a while for Toplife to find out that the rats in escape did not have bombs.
So yeah, Azaz is skipping Village of Outcast area for now, and instead headed right back up that mountain.
That's an interesting choice. There are a lot of items up here. We got access to 7 in Paradox Cave, 1 in Spiral Cave, 2 in Super Bunny Cave, and 1 in Logic in Hookshot Cave. I don't know if Azaz is a hoverer or not. You can pick up those other 3 items.
If they are, I'm not aware of it, but I feel like enough people have like that hidden hovering thing. They just don't really do it. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Azazas as, speaking about potentially not needing the fire rod, there's Bombos. We can go grab that.
Yeah, so that is a big find for Azaz. Is that will definitely definitely, like I said, puts Fire Rod completely out of necessity for Ganon's Tower, unless that key is on the right-hand side and get some decisions about what that right side bomb jump. But B, that's information that Toplife's not going to have for a long while. And with Kana, Samari, and Hammer, that'll put Ice Palace into play with a fake flipper for Azaz after he gets done climbing the mountain.
Yeah, this is an interesting and honestly really, really large diversion, because although Toplife might prove me wrong here, I feel like Toplife is probably going to go south after all of this and not do an S&Q hop up the mountain and not go north into Skullwoods and the surrounding area for checks that Azazas already made. So our runners are going to have like polar opposite checks done in 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's a ton of items to the south of Village of Outcasts. We find the flippers, so don't even worry about a fake flipper. Ice Palace will absolutely 100% be in play for Azaz, as flippers there in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, and at this point, we're only a hook shot away from being able to clear Swamp as well. So the dungeon possibilities are just kind of falling in front of Azazas here. Yeah,
so hook shot, a flute, a bow. We're getting very close already to potential go modes here. We're going to need a medallion of some sort from Misery Mire. Don't know what that is yet. Won't be able to find out until we find that flute.
Dead rocks, gotta love them.
Best enemy in the game for sure is Toplife entering this blind fight. Should be nice and clean.
I just want to remind you that you said it just in case it doesn't end up being nice and clean.
Hey, it's called Commentator's Curse for a reason. But it is just picture perfect from Toplife. We'll put Crystal #1 on the board of this race. It doesn't look like anything out of Thieves Town, though. Bombos is the medallion for Turtle Rock, as Azaz will note that and hope he never has to go there.
Yeah, that's one point for never finding the fire rod. Like, having to do that bomb jump on the right side for GT can be annoying, but if you never find the fire rod, odds are that, you know, there's nothing over here in Turtle Rock, and that's nice. Azaz might also just go in. I don't imagine that happening. Oh boy, here we go.
I mean, it's actually not that bad of a play to just go into Turtle Rock right here. It's the first hover attempt from Azaz. Doesn't go the way he wants. But if you're going to get locked out, you're going to get locked out pretty quickly usually. There are very few layouts that let you get very deep into Turtle Rock without a fire rod. But I think instead, Azaz is going to take a couple of shots here, hovering, see if we can get these items. And if he dies, then does have fairies. So wondering how many of those fairies he's willing to go through to get this hover done, as the first 2 chests of the hover area, nothing, just bombs and a blue boomerang.
I mean, at this point, you maybe just leave this one. No, he's going for it. Yeah, because you can hover north, I guess. It seems like a little bit longer of a hover, but I swear, any hover that you see people have to complete always seems longer.
Does have fairies, so it's going to die, going to get revived here, and we'll see what the decision is at this point.
I mean, I feel like if you use the fairy, then you at least take a couple of hearts of this down, because I feel like the limitation is, okay, I don't want to use a fairy. So he's probably going to do this at least a couple more times, especially because with Hera looming on the horizon, you're going to get a heart refill. So even if you want to make the Spike Cave play as best you can,
does make it over this time, and it's just a heart. So nothing for the hoverers today. Gonna head to the back here and grab this Bombos medallion as we find Coop in hammer pegs. And you're right, Top Life is continue on to take a look at the south side of Village Outcasts and these Smith chain checks.
Yeah, and that cape, a nice item to have. We already know what's on Bumper Ledge, so it's not really going to help there, but could come in handy a couple times. You can always grab the wall and get free invulnerability without losing magic.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to have. There's several places where just having that little bit of invulnerability is nice, and Azazas is instead going to head over and take a look at Hera and finish this dungeon off. Let's see if Azazas decides to do a Spike Cave play. Still has one fairy, so can still pull off Spike Cave. As we know, it's now in logic based on that cape we found in Top Life side. Could also choose a dive Turtle Rock if so chooses.
I would be kind of surprised to see Azazas go into Turtle Rock at this point. But again, it's not a bad idea, because at this point, the only thing Azazas is really leaving behind is going to be, at this point, he has, nice flute. At this point, we've got the Ether Tablet, which we're not going to be able to do unless we find a book somewhere magically in the next couple checks. And then Spike Cave, which I'm assuming Azazas is going to do, and Turtle Rock. So I can see Azazas just kind of going, let's hope whatever's in Turtle Rock, if there is something there, isn't super early, then it doesn't matter. And just leaving that behind along with the tablet. But he might choose to just go in there and complete everything he physically can out of the mountain right now.
So it looks like Top Life found a shovel in Thieves Town as well, and doesn't pay off just a heart container, but did find that flute at Cave 45. A rare sighting of something good in that cave. And we're going to leave this chest for the time being and run on over to where we're going to go turn that chest in. This fun little glitch where the follower state doesn't get updated until a little bit after you switch worlds. So while we don't have the chest in our possession, the game still thinks we have a chest and is going to give us what's in it. Just a piece of heart.
Yeah, that's nice, because as you can see, we cannot dash with the purple chest. We can dash without it, so it saves a significant amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Top Life's going to head over and do Hype Cave now, and then we'll probably see him save and quit and turn that flute in. And now we're just looking for a bow and potentially medallion. And a hook shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Top Life check that Meyer medallion relatively soon.
It makes a ton of sense too. You get in a desert, which is a fully completable dungeon at this point. So, wouldn't shock me if that's exactly where Top Life goes as soon as that flute gets turned in. Zaza's in the Moldorm fight here, very clean.
And Top Life grabbing bombs from the bomb shop, which is not normally the type of bombs we see bought here, but it works out.
Yeah, ran out of bombs in Hype Cave and needed a little pick-me-up. A little more expensive than you'd find in a normal shop. But if you ever buy a bomb upgrade, the bomb shop will fill you up to your capacity for the same price. And as always, a ton of bombs behind that bomb.
That's always how it works out. And yeah, Azazas is going for the Spike Cave play and leaving behind Turtle Rock for now. So
Azazas with these frame-perfect dashes here, getting a lot of space. It's going to need, though, is going to die. Does have that other fairy. So Azazas is now out of fairies, but with a ton of cash. And going to find that flute sooner rather than later. He's going to be able to buy some potions if he feels he needs to. And it's a sword in Spike Cave, so that's Tempered Sword for asazas.
So that's interesting, because if Topplife doesn't come back up here for an extended period of time, that is a really nice sword advantage for asazas. There is another sword somewhere. It's around. It'll be tempered for Topplife if Topplife doesn't end up grabbing this one. And it would just be a green 20 for asazas. So Topplife can get that.
This is smart from asazas. These shops that are around Kakariko and this one by Hylia also have red potions, and they're a little more expensive than the magic shop, but much easier to get to. And asazas is heading directly for Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's not a bad call at all. With Bombos, you're not.
Okay.
Well, we know that someone uses the Y button to do swimming.
Yeah, you can swim with any of the 4 face buttons, but you get interesting things if you hit Y when you're trying to use it as a swimmer. Topplife picking up his 3rd bottle.
So is that both items on Skullwoods or just the one?
That's just the one. Both runners picked up the first item in that map chest and chose to be done with it at this point, not finding a small key, not being able to continue on without either taking a drop down or grabbing the key out of the middle area. Small key in the first chest of Ice Palace. Honestly, a pretty good find. It helps to open up routing in this dungeon significantly. Our runners both have Canis Marius, so we're going to see some Icebreaker strats, and Azaz is going to choose to hit the switch before doing that.
Yeah, that key would be much nicer, or a much more significant find if we didn't have the Icebreaker, but it's still nice.
Nicely done by Zazas. One little pause buffer finds another small key here in the big key chest. And Topplife doing these boots and Graveyard Ledge checks that Zazas did earlier. So giving that time back, and Topplife is going to head to Mire and Desert.
Yep, so Topplife taking that flute and heading straight over here with it. It would be kind of funny if Mire were Bombos, not going to lie. Nope, just Ether today. So we are going to need that medallion as well.
So we're on a hunt now for a bow, a hookshot, and an Ether medallion. And there was that a fire rod in Mire Shed?
Yeah, it's one of the items we actually kind of weren't hoping we'd see.
That's a blessing and a curse. It will help this Landmo fight significantly, but it does open up a lot of options. Skull Woods is now in Logic. Turtle Rock is now in Logic. Palace of Darkness still not in Logic without that bow, but that's 2 of our 3 crystal pendant dungeons now just totally in Logic.
I feel like with this version and progressive bows, you're still running around looking for a bow more often than you should be.
Nice bomb jump here from Zaz. Zazas getting over to kill these Freezors. We'll get the chest contents here. Just a big 20.
Yeah, and without that hookshot, actually having to bomb down here.
A little DLC is half magic is a reward here. That's a very big find. I mean, there's no guarantee that Zazas will find that fire rod. Thing could break in a way so that he's in go mode before heading to Mire.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I feel like Azazas doesn't have a whole lot left to do at this point. So it would be kind of interesting, and it is a possibility, but I feel like the next play is is the mire area once he gets that flute.
Yeah, once he finds a flute, he's almost certainly going to head over to Mire, but could find Bow before that. We don't know. Could find a hookshot before that and get pulled into Swamp. Right now we got Cold Stare and Blink and you miss it. Cold Stare blinked and fell and does find a Bow.
Okay, so that's the commentator's blessing on your part.
Listen, I giveth and I taketh away. So Bow, that'll put that'll put Eastern into logic. That last item on Armos, or no, there's no item. It's just the crystal there. Pod is now in logic, and that puts everything but Swamp in the game is now in logic between our two runners. It's just that hook shot now, and the Ether Medallion. So, where do you go next if you're Azazas?
Well, I feel like the play to go into pod is runner's preference. There are some runners who just believe the pendant pod always has something, and you should always go in there. As we pull the useless medallion out of Landmo here. So if Azazas is a thinker of pendant pod having something, then we're probably going to see him to go to pendant pod. If not, then I would presume that the play would be Crystal Thieves Town. And actually, I'd forgotten that he hadn't cleared that before, so I would imagine Thieves Town's next regardless. That is a crystal.
Yeah, that does seem to be the most likely play here. Especially not having that flute. It's probably easier to get to Thieves Town than it is to Palace of Darkness right now.
But we do have some new checks here. Flipper checks. They are now in logic, and we're going to get 4 of them.
Well, I mean, our checkerboard on the right-hand side just has a piece of heart for Top Life. We do find our first green 20 in Waterfall Fairy Cave. It could be a bow, it could be a sword, it could be an armor upgrade. I don't think it can be a heart, anything heart-wise at this point yet. I don't think Azaz has found all of that stuff yet. We find a shield on Zora Ledge.
And now just a scammer himself.
Listen, Zora is just a hard-working entrepreneur, and oh, it's 20 rupees.
And the scammer himself. 4% return. Nice stair climb from Top Life.
That was a thing of beauty right there. Top Life's gonna finish off Hera now and go get those flippers from the east side of Death Mountain.
I didn't realize when it was happening, but Azazas skipped Bonk Rocks. Not that it ended up mattering, but checked everything else over here.
Yeah, that's something I guess that you can quickly check on your way to Thieves Town later. Little thing to loop in. It's kind of weird not doing it as part of the Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb loop, but that's what Azazas chose to do.
So at this point, I feel like Azazas is probably going to do the full Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town, probably into our wonderful Smith chain, and going to be grabbing that flute.
Yeah, flute being at K45 is just an awkward place for it because you kind of want to go back to Village Outcasts and mirror and turn the flute in there, but you're certainly going to have a purple chest in tow with the way things have broken out today.
Yeah, it's one of those things, as awkward as it is, it would be a heck of a lot more awkward if you didn't have the boots.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like without the boots, oh man, it's really difficult then, because you could just turn around and grab it, and then, after you check something, and then flute over there, but then you have to go back into the Dark World for Hype Cave and anything else you want to check in that area. So I don't know.
It's probably fine having the hammer. You're not having it isn't like you're just on mitts and you're having to run all the way back from Village Outcast to Hype Cave. So maybe Azaz will choose to do that. But we're gonna get some interesting decisions from Top Life here. Once Top Life gets in the Dark World and finds that Bombos is up here on Floating Island, and Turtle Rock requires Bombos, and Toplife has everything to beat Turtle Rock. Do you make the dive? Or do you just decide, hey, I still have crystals that I can do, we're going to leave Turtle Rock, and if I end up having to spend another climb getting up here to find something in there, so be it.
Yeah, I don't know, because, I mean, Toplife knows what he needs at this point. He's seen the Meyer medallion, so he knows that Ether is a requirement, and he knows that, you know, he needs the bow and the hook shot that he hasn't found yet. Like, that's 3 items. I don't know. What are the odds that Turtle Rock doesn't have any of them? Because if Turtle Rock even has 1, it's probably worth it, unless that item is super early and Turtle Rock doesn't have anything else. It's probably worth it just to come up here and even clear it. And just not have to worry about coming up here again. Because if you don't come up here at this point, that was a wonderful dash from Asazas. If you don't do Turtle Rock right now, you're not gonna. Like, that's gonna be basically last location.
Yep, because Toplife is going to see what's on this floating island and see that the key is well buried under the doormat today. I feel like there's at least a recency bias phenomenon where you often find either the medallion for Meyer or Turtle Rock or the Cane of Samaria or the Ice Rod right next to that location. At least you remember it happening more often than not.
I feel like the trick here is that in a lot of circumstances, by the time you get up here, you're only a couple of items away from being able to access at least part of Turtle Rock. And because there are so many items required with the medallion, both rods, Samaria, and even the hammer you can come up here without and still need. I feel like there's enough items that it's going to happen somewhat frequently, because you're looking at like 1 of 5 different items in these, 6 checks that are right here. 7 if you include Floating Island.
Yeah, Toplife is making the play. We're going to see a look at Turtle Rock here on Toplife's side.
Yeah, and Toplife making no bones about it. This is before Hera, before any of that stuff over there. He just, I'm doing it because it's here. So,
yeah, deciding that if something's here, with the order of things that he's done things in, it's kind of unlikely that Asazas had access to Turtle Rock from his perspective. Making the choice that if there's something here, this is going to be a huge advantage.
Yeah, this is either going to be like 7 minutes lost for Toplife or a lot of time gained, depending on what's over here.
You kind of get in the metagaming sort of thing, sort of mindset here too. What checks do I think my opponent kind of skipped? What order do I think my opponent did things in? What could they or could they not have had coming up into this area? As early as we were up on Dark Death Mountain, it's very unlikely from Toplife's perspective that Asazas had both rods and the desire to come into Turtle Rock at the point that Asazas was here. As Toplife forgets no hook shot, gonna have to make a loop around, gonna have to burn this pot. Not having that half magic either.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. And there's the shovel for Asazas, so.
Yeah, it wasn't even in Thieves Town, just outside. Thieves Town, just a total blank. But Toplife chooses to do this room before the compass room. Means he'll mirror out and be able to get that full magic refill. No worries anyways. 1 item and a small key on the right-hand side. So even if there is a small key in the compass room, Asazas would have been locked out pretty quickly from here had he checked Turtle Rock earlier.
And that's something that's going to make Asazas feel better. If Asazas does end up having to come back here, it's one of those, oh, okay, well, I didn't even have the stuff required. I would have just gotten this and noped out. Although, there is a key there, too, so at least this next check is in logic.
Yeah, the Chain Chomp chest will be in logic for Fire Rodless Dip. So if there's something here, if Hookshot's here in Chain Chomps, bad times. It's a big key, so nothing ventured, nothing lost. Azaz getting that cape from Hammer Pegs.
And now we get to the fun part of Turtle Rock, where we have one more check up here, and then a bunch of checks.
Yeah, I know Palace of Darkness gets a bad rap for being all business in the front and all the fun in the back, but Turtle Rock is very much the same way. In these first few checks, you're guaranteed to have 2 small keys, 1 big key, and then 2 optionals. All the fun is usually on Laser Bridge for you.
I feel like the reason that Pod gets that bad rap is because you're still opening a crap ton of chests in the front of Pod, and you just don't get anything for it. Like for Turtle Rock, the chests are a lot more spread apart in the front, so it's not that you're opening things that are guaranteed to be dungeon related. It's that you're opening things at a slower pace. Whereas Pod's like, here, have 6 chests. Unless this is Key Sanity, you're getting maybe 2 items, probably one of those being a dungeon item of some sort. So 6 chests for 1 potential item. Good luck.
Yeah, I saw a clip the other day of someone in a ladder race having a go mode pod and the 6 chests, and it was a 6 key front. The worst feeling.
Yeah, go mode pod is one of those things where like maybe you can save a bunch of time, and maybe you don't really save any at all.
Top life still needing more than 1 item here is going to check Mimic Cave before big chest. Typically, if I'm looking for 1 item, I'm going to check that big chest first, and if it's nothing, bonk back over and then take a look at Mimic Cave. But still needing 3 items from his perspective is going to take a look at Mimic Cave, find nothing, and head back into Turtle Rock. So Azazas does take care of Purple Chest, and it's going to take a look at Hype Cave, and now we'll see where Azazas goes from here.
I feel like it's probably an S&Q and go get that flute done, and then head over to the Mire area, just because we do have 1 medallion, and if Mire is Bombos and you don't go do Mire, you're going to feel kind of silly.
Yeah, I agree.
But then after that, that's when it gets fun, because Mire's not going to take long. We can't really do anything there.
We did find our second item out of Turtle Rock, and it's a bug net. So cool points, but not worth points.
And we are slowly running out of checks here. If this ends up being nothing, Top Life is not going to be feeling great.
Yep, still 3 items to go in Turtle Rock, though. And we got 4 chests coming up in Laser Bridge.
And I'll go ahead and say it. The ped is still a possibility. Azaz doing the S&Q. That's kind of funny. You don't have the flute activated yet, bud. Top Life's going to want to be careful here. Okay, going to go ahead and take the safety door. I was like, because a laser hit to fall means you're toast.
A laser hit means it's toast.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's 3 hearts or 4 hearts on green mail. It's something quite absurd.
Yeah, I want to say it's 4 hearts. It's not fun.
And see Yoshi
fairy.
does have 2 fairies though, so. And on Azaz's side, the pheasant is present, the duck is unstuck, the goose is loose, the crow's got to go.
Release the Quacken?
Absolutely. Nothing.
You had a slew of those, man. I was not prepared.
Nothing on Laser Bridge, but we do have 1 item here on Trinex, so last gasp here for Turtle Rock.
Now you got me sitting here looking for bird names that have rhymes.
There's a lot of them. Zaz is getting his fire rod. And with a Master Sword and no half magic, Hammer strats to the word of the day, and it's not going so good for Top Life right now. This might end up being little dicey. Did pick up green medicine off of Laser Bridge. Might have to use it right away.
Yeah, I'll say, and that's going to be the saving grace if this does go in an unfortunate fashion, which it seems like we're getting there.
Yeah, 7 shots. You only get 7 because of needing to spend a quarter of a shot on Samaria block. Does have to crack that green potion, but does get through phase 1 and on to phase 2. Azazas into desert now.
All right, well, we do have another fairy if things go south, because I'm pretty sure if Yoshi gets poked here, it's done. But there he goes.
Yeah, it's 4 hearts getting hit by Trinex. If you're a little cheeky, you can go get hit by the spike traps and take 1 and kind of damage boost them in just a map there. So nothing at all. Topplife chooses to kill Trinex for the pendant. I'm guessing Topplife is going to do Crystal Dungeons, and if it doesn't find anything, we'll find that bow in Ice Palace. But I'm guessing Skull Woods is going to be a little bit more of a priority for Topplife at this point than it will be for Azazas.
I would imagine so for 2 reasons. 1, Skullwoods has green pendant, so that's actually 2 items in the back here. And with the other pendant being pod, you can just go ahead and knock that out and then head over to the pod area for your 3rd pendant and for that green pendant turn-in.
Yeah, you have a 2-way play you can do here. You can either like prioritize pod first and get your 2nd pendant, then do Skull Woods and just immediately do the pedestal turn-in, or like you said, do it the other way and do your green pendant turn-in immediately after doing Skull Woods. Half magic and fire rod. This is going to be a very trivial fight along with this tempered sword for Azazas. It's going to end up needing a 2nd cycle, but that's more of a case of RNG than anything bad that he did. And that Quake Medallion going to sit in inventory and never be used.
Yeah, Azazas may or may not have had a moment of being excited there, because it'd be really nice to just grab the key for Meyer, but nope. Wrong yellow coin.
And Azazas is kind of running out of things. Turtle Rock is now on the radar for him. Does have 2 items in Skull Woods. Both the item in the back plus the green pendant turn-in. Does have a full clear of pod to do. Eastern has no items, it just has the crystal.
You know what we also have on the docket? Pyramid Fairy.
We do. It would be nice to loop in that Pyramid Fairy and just head over to pod. That might be what Azazas chooses to do after this. Azazas pull out this bomb jump earlier. Topplife looks good for it as well. Does get it. Gets that 2nd item out of Hera. And off to Moldorm. And there's also the front of Swamp Palace. Hookshot couldn't be in Swamp Palace, right? It's Randomizer. It's got to be randomized.
Well, I'm not going to say I haven't seen a vanilla hookshot in this tournament. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh no! Topplife kills Moldorm, but takes the big bad fall, going down 2 floors. Oh, that feels so bad.
I'm just instantaneously reminded of a boss in Super Mario RPG that says, even if you defeat me, you still won't beat me. Oh my goodness, that was pretty high up on the unfortunate scale. I'm pretty sure it's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point in the Discord you'll be able to see that one replayed later today. Azazas with some nice bomb dashes. You can't normally dash with this big bomb. It normally just starts its timer as you find just some arrows on Pyramid Ledge. But if you take damage and dash on the same frame, you can start your dash and actually the bomb will follow you. You find a Book of Mudora inside that Pyramid Fairy, which is bad omen.
Yeah, and that's bad in a very different way. Like, the seed is kind of pushing you towards, hey, so, we have a pedestal, right? But the book is like, hey, here's 2 fetch quests, because with the stuff we've cleared, that's pretty much what they are.
Zaz is going to choose to do Catfish here as well before Pod. Makes a lot of sense. This check is very isolated on Zaz's side. Already done those flipper checks. Already done Zora, and already done the North Dark World. So Catfish is just out here in the middle of nowhere. No time like the present to take it off the map.
Yeah, especially not as you start to see those little squares on your map dwindling. It's like, okay, so I got a big one over here and a couple small ones here, and this one's way over in the corner, and there we go. Second throw works every time.
Yeah, the ring for Catfish has some interesting properties. Just 20 rupees for Catfish today. You can miss a little bit, but not too much, and it's really hard to tell just how far you can miss.
Okay, so it looks like Topplife is going to be doing Big Red Bomb here as well. And Asazas maybe going to go give us an immediate Bombos tablet. Do we see a swamp play after this?
I mean, if you're down here, maybe? Like, there's no crystals for Asazas to do other than Eastern Palace, which is 0 items. Definitely just going to follow the logic here and take a look at Bombos tablet. And I can't imagine... I guess you have a flute, so really the world is very, very open. Honestly, if I was Asazas, I would probably, if I'm looking to take advantage of this book and take advantage of this fire rod I just found, I'd head to Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's fair. There's one item over there. It's also the green pendant, and you're going to get a check. But no, we are headed up to the other tablet. Wow, Asazas just saying, I'm going to take this book, and I'm going to check everything with this book immediately. So does he go into Turtle Rock?
I don't know. That is... I mean, there's never a good time to go to Turtle Rock for Asazas at this point.
Right, that's fair. But I guess the question is, in his mind, is Turtle Rock the, well, if it's here, oh well, you win location, or is it a situation where he might try to hedge his bets a little bit?
I don't know. I would think it was as late as Asazas found that flute and that fire rod that he would guess that Turtle Rock is off the map for Topplife at this point. But no, we are going to head over.
Soon. Yeah, so this is going to be a Turtle Rock play. So Turtle Rock right now, I imagine that next will probably get Pod, or Skullwoods. I have no idea. Like
I think with the book you do Skullwoods first. You can check pedestal. You know if you have to beat Helmasaur King or not.
And just like that, a seed that kind of opened up nicely in the beginning is looking closer and closer to a potential full clear here.
Yeah, Toplife's going to head over and take a look at Catfish, and Toplife has not done Zora yet, so we'll see. Zora checks here. Toplife going to fill up with some potions on the way too. This is pretty smart.
Yeah, this is interesting because Asazas had a huge advantage over Topplife not having done basically the completely and totally useless Turtle Rock, unless this is a pet seed. I need to throw that caveat in there because at this point, the squares are dwindling. But now with Asazas in here, that's going to be 7.5 minutes. Asazas sinks into this dungeon for absolutely nothing. So
yeah, and this is why I think doing Skullwoods first makes more sense. You get to look at pedestal. You get to know, do I have to go and beat Trinex? You're getting 2 items out of the deal in very quick succession. You're getting 1 off the green pendant, and then wherever the second item is in Skullwoods. It may not be super accessible. We don't know. There's a lot of weird places it could end up being at that take a lot of time, but you're getting so much information from that check that it makes a lot more sense to do it first.
I do feel like Azazas might agree with you looking back. I just feel like having found that book, Azazas was like, okay, let's go do the tablets. And then it was one of those things where you're not thinking about anything past the tablets. And then you get in there and you're like, well, I'm up the mountain. Might as well go do Turtle Rock.
Right. Topplife did pick up a tempered sword. Not exactly sure where, because the waterfall cave was green 20 as well for him. So
picked up the same tempered sword that Azazas did.
And Spike Cave. All right.
Yes.
So we will not know where that fourth sword is ever, which is no big deal. The only thing Topplife could find that Azazas wouldn't know about is that other bow, depending on where it's at.
Yeah, and we know now that the 20 in the waterfall was not a bow.
Correct.
So that was either a mail upgrade or a sword, as you had mentioned.
Toplife's going to head into Ice Palace. Makes a fair amount of sense. It's crystal, full clearable. Going to be pretty quick. Not a lot of magic in Toplife's inventory. It does have those potions, though. Doesn't need a ton of magic having Bombos.
Is also going to run across half magic in the big chest here, so that won't end up being a big deal. Topplife doesn't know that, but it'll work out. Okay, so we're looking at front of swamp, the entirety of pod, one item in Skullwoods, green pendant turnip. Is that all we have left?
And pedestal.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is it. I think that's what we got.
If I don't talk about pedestal, maybe it'll just ignore us too.
Is it like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park? If you don't move, they can't see you.
Exactly. Or like an Enderman, just don't make eye contact. That being said, Azazas is flying through here as Topplife is flying through Ice Palace. So we have 2 dungeons here getting run through. Each of our runners have already done the opposites. We're just kind of tracing over each other's steps.
Yeah, Azazas is going to pick up a little bit of time on Topplife in terms of, we know this dungeon is worth nothing, but Azazas is going to be able to do it a lot faster. Having that half magic and that tempered sword gets to be a lot more aggressive in terms of how he handles rooms, whereas Topplife was not.
Especially that Trinex fight is going to be made way easier. Yeah, but while our runners are both running through dungeons the other already has, I'm going to throw that friendly reminder out there. Give these guys a follow. They are going through this full cleared seat as quickly as they can, and just putting on a great show for us. Yeah,
I also like to, while we're waiting for more items, we'd like to thank our tracker today, 2D Tones, making sure that we know what everything's at and what's going on in the seed so that we can focus on this exciting gameplay. Which right now isn't the most exciting, as we got one person riding a raft through the Dark Room and Turtle Rock, but it's been a great race so far, and all the staff here helps us make it possible for you.
All right, Topplife in the wonderful iced tea and absolutely nothing. So we're going to get the left-hand side of Ice Palace done as Azazas goes back to front with the laser skips, and then we get to potentially have some more divergence.
Yeah, a lot cleaner out of Azazas' side on these laser skips than it was for Topplife. Topplife had to take that safety door, if you remember correctly, and ended up doing a fairy revival as well. And Azazas knows that this is a dungeon item and is still going to go kill a Tyrannex. It makes a lot of sense at this point. You're sniffing a potential pedestal seed, and you definitely don't want to come back and do this fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, the amount of items that you have at your disposal is probably less than a dozen, because we have, 6 in pod? 5 in pod. I don't remember how many pod.
Five in pod, somewhere between 2 and 4 in the front of Swamp, 2 between Skullwoods and the Green Pendant, and then, so that's 11 items max, somewhere between 9 and 11 items for our runners.
Yeah, which don't include the pedestal, so That being said, I mean, it's starting to look like Ped probably has something. And Pod could just very well have an item for us, and then that just kind of send us on our merry way. And that's best case scenario. But it's not looking great.
Yeah, still a fair amount though to do. They're just not in great locations. His Toplife finds his bow. We'll see what he does with that.
I mean, I imagine Toplife's going well. I imagine that's still going to be that Skullwoods play that you were talking about.
Yeah, Toplife found the book in Pyramid Fairy as well. So we'll see if he chooses information over items.
And that's what Asazas is doing. Because I can't think of anything else in the area that Asazas would be grabbing.
No, and Toplife is heading there as well. This makes a ton of sense for both runners. You want to know if you need to kill Helmsor King, if you need to go all the way, even if you find a hook shot or an Ether Medallion.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not at the point where we only need one go mode item, which would make Ped even better, because then if you know if your last item is on Ped, you can just try to go mode Pod, which hopefully ends up being a little friendlier than it could be. But like with us needing both the hook shot and the Ether Medallion, unless we come across one of those here in Skull Woods, we still need to just full clear everything, even if Ped has some.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
So I imagine for both our runners, the play then is complete this stuff, check the Ped, and then go ahead and do Pod, and then go jump into Swamp.
It may change if Ped is nothing. It may see one of these runners choose to do Swamp first. You don't know. There is a decent case for just saying, hey, I think it's here. And I think this late into the seed. I feel behind. I need to make a gamble. Let's see if it's here.
That's fair. That is a distinct possibility. I just feel like I would personally go for the density, because hookshotless Swamp is not fast at all. With boots, it makes it not terrible, but it's not fast.
No, it's definitely a slow check for those 2 to 4 items. Let's see what. We'll see a Mothula. Both runners in this fight at the same time. Both runners with a very quick drop, and the second item is on Mothula, so very, very quick. Very quick Skull Woods. Not gonna have to check anything else here. We're gonna take a look at the pedestal in just a moment.
That was a wonderful set of Moth fights right there. Just like in and out. Moth just got deleted.
All right, moment of truth. What do we got here on the pedestal? We have just Couch Cash.
So now that does make that play you were talking about more likely. That one of them just goes, let's go to a Swamp. All right,
I think still having both items, I think both these runners, yeah, they're going to head to Pod. I think if we'd found one of the 2 items in Skull Woods, because not only are you getting Pod here, you're also getting the green pendant turn in. So you're getting 6 items total in this area.
So this is kind of interesting, because when you think about, and you were talking about metagaming earlier, as Toplife is getting destroyed by a Murderdactyl. Toplife, please. Okay, there we go. The Murderdactyl winning 3-1 there. If Green Pendant is our progression, then it feels fine. But now that there's something in Pod, you start to feel like, oh no, did my opponent come in here just a little bit earlier than me?
Yeah, as Green Pendant only has those 10 arrows, so 5 items in Pod. We know that pedestal is nothing, so we're not going to get paid off with anything for killing Helmsor King. So if we find those 5 items fast, both these runners are going to bail out of Pod immediately.
And head right into Swamp. Or actually, they're probably going to clear Eastern first, and then head right into Swamp.
Yeah, that's the other thing about doing Pod first is you still have something to do in this area too. You have the Eastern Palace to clear. We've already found all 3 items in Eastern Palace. It is just the crystal, but it is a crystal. Chat pointing out that Toplife still has not looked at those tablets yet. which may push him away from, not Swamp. You can check Bombos and then head into Swamp, but depends if Top Life decides to check Ether before making that loop.
I'd be kind of surprised, because that is a long shack.
Yeah, I'd be shocked as well.
I feel like we're still gonna get the Swamp play first. We're probably gonna get Bombos Medallion before Swamp, because if that's the answer, you'd feel kind of silly double dipping Swamp potentially. But we'll see. I guess the important question here is, what's our progression? Is it gonna be Hookshot or is it gonna be Ether?
Yeah, no losses. It's only one, and the other's locked behind the other, either Ether deep in Swamp Palace or Hookshot in Misery Mire.
I mean, we could also have a situation where one of them's right here and the other one is also right here. That would be interesting, because then if you find your first progression item, do you bounce out of here, or do you keep going in the hopes that maybe you find the other one?
Yeah, it's gonna be a test of these runners' nerves to see how they handle finding one of these progression items if they do find it. Here, it doesn't look like there's anything in the front of Pod, as we mentioned before. There are 6 chests up here, and 4 of them have small keys at least. So we did find a big key, and I don't know what the 6th check ended up being.
Not useful. Oh, it was a compass, because Pod was bow locked.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Absolutely nothing in the front.
And there's our first item. It's 20 rupees. Both runners have very nice hammer jumps there. There's our second item. It's 20 rupees in a different form. And at this point with Azazas on 13 hearts, you're going to find a lot of green 20s on his screen.
Yep, that last heart is either a heart container or 4 heart pieces. I don't know how many heart pieces Azazas currently has. But so that means that the other kind is going to show up as green 20s.
Yeah. And if it is a heart container, then Sank Heart is always in the pool. So any of the other non-heart containers are just going to show up as Richmond. There's our hook shot. We got Ether right next to it. Nope, just another green 20. But hook shot for Azazas. That's item number 3 and 4. 1 item left in this dungeon. And it is on Helmasaur King.
And Azazas is just going to go grab it. So is Top Life. Okay, so they're making the same play. Top Life's going to have to make a detour for a key, though. But this race still incredibly close, and this could be a wasted check here. But if Helmasaur has that Ether Medallion, you'd feel absolutely awful not grabbing it.
I think both these runners will feel very bad if both items are in Pod. This has been open for quite some time for both runners.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, even with just one of them, you're kind of just glancing over like, all right, when am I going to get the dot done for my opponent? Not realizing that your opponent basically made the same play as you did.
Yeah, if Top Life does pull this one out, we're going to have to take a look at Azaz's choice to, once finding that book, not just to go grab more information from Skullwoods and instead prioritizing those tablets. It is a decision that makes sense. You're reading the logic, but I think a lot of runners would have made a different choice in his seat. And we'll see if it ends up costing him this race. We still have a long way to go, though. We still have another item to find. We still have a Ganon's Tower in between here and there. But Azaz is going to be the first here into Helmasaur King. Find out what this last item is in Pod.
And just absolutely playing whack-a-mole on this helmet.
Yeah, very friendly pattern from Helmasaur here. Just kind of walking right into your hammer. Last item here is just 20 rupees, so just the hook shot, but a big find in hook shot. We're going to be able to full clear Swamp Palace if we need to, and still looking for this Ether Medallion.
Nicely done. So top life just behind by a mini cutscene here.
And Top Life smartly is going to mirror out. Oh, I was trying to mirror out, but ends up grabbing the medallion. I don't know if you can mirror out of that. You can save and quit out of it.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part there is that you have unfinished business.
Yeah, you still have Eastern Palace to do, so not being able to mirror out of that room will...
Yeah, that would be a big brain play, actually. Go do Eastern first so you could mirror out. Or, sorry, so you could save and quit out. My bad.
Both the runners are now going to take a quick little jaunt and finish up Eastern Palace and let our most knights know what's what.
Yeah, Top Life having the perfect amount of arrows. Although we're going to have to use a couple in here before we get there, so going to need a little bit of refill.
Yeah, thankfully, there are plenty of arrows in the back of Eastern Palace. It's like the game. It's like the game new.
Yeah, Eastern basically just spends its entire time throwing arrows at you. You picked up a pot, arrows. You picked up that pot, also arrows. Top left missing the button there. And here we go.
Zaz is getting bumped, and that one Armless Knight is going to get away from him, so no quick kill here.
That was a nice attempt at recovery, though, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, just tried to pick it off on the way down, but didn't quite get there. So that is crystal number 6, or crystal number 5 for Azazas, and Top Life will be following with crystal number 5 in just a moment. Top Life choosing for the Ice Armos quick kill.
Yeah, I prefer this one too. It's a lot safer, and you don't have to worry about, you know, getting bumped there or making the lineup slightly wrong. All right, and in the swamp. Top Life does have one other option here at the tablets and the remainder of Hookshot Cave, but I imagine Top Life's going to be heading into the swamp as well.
Yeah, I can't. I would see Top Life checking Bombus Medallion before entering swamp, but no chance that Top Life is going to check what's left on Death Mountain at all, because we know it's nothing, and that's going to be last location in this form for sure.
And that's the way we like it. You want your last locations to be set up as things that don't have items.
Now you get an interesting decision for both these runners again here in Swamp Palace. Are you going straight to the back, or are you checking left side?
With one item from Go Mode, as Top Life says no thank you to Bombos. So that Bombos medallion. With one item away from Go Mode, I'm going to the back. Diver down, if you're comfortable with it on that left-hand side, it makes checking left-hand side afterwards not bad. You're going to have to go kill Argus, so you might as well. That's my opinion. Now, one runner or the other might feel behind, decide to do left side first just for the sake of it.
Big Key first makes that decision a little more interesting, because you know you're not going to find Big Key on like Argus and have to come back in anyways.
That is fair. I still feel like we're going back swamp first.
Yeah, if that was my guess. If I was in this situation, I'd be going straight to the boss.
Like, we might even get a skip of the south check here, and just go big chest to the back, because that's where the majority of the chests are. Couple hearts missing from both of our runners here. Swamp showing that it is the dungeon of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, everything we run into here deals with harder damage, and it's very hard to dodge a lot of these enemies. A lot of the time, there's water bugs and catfish that fall in the river.
Yeah, and those like water turtles that just kind of bounce around.
All right, check number 2 for Azazas, a piece of heart.
So that does tell us that all heart containers are going to be 20s. And there it is.
What it is. Ether in the big chest, so that makes the decision very, very easy.
Ooh, and Top Life did not check the southern chest. That's a little more time saved there.
Yeah, we are neck and neck here with Swamp, Misery Mire, and Gaines Tower to go. We got ourselves a big-time race.
And this is super interesting because what we have left is just huge in terms of routing. Mire, what are you going to do? Where's that key? And then GT is just a complete and total crapshoot for where you're going when and where that big key may or may not be. Both runners skipping everything. We're not going to find silvers. We've already got our highest allowed sword. Top Life with 11 hearts. Azazas with 13. We're just going.
Yeah, with all of our safeties. Well, we have a safety in the cape. We have 4 bottles. I don't know if Azazas has any potion. I think it's a red. Top Life has at least 1 blue, and then half magic. And the only thing that neither of these runners need it. The only thing that is missing at this point is like a powder or something. But both these runners have the world open to them in terms of items and safeties, and not going to be opening anything they don't need to at this point. As both runners get this Argus kill within 20 seconds of each other, so we are neck and neck in it. Our Azazas will be the first in the Misery Mire.
And let the fun begin. But yeah, an hour and 23 minutes or whatever go mode that's not a kind seed. It's really not.
No, I imagine both these runners are feeling the pressure and feeling a bit behind. Even though we see here from the outside that it is very, very, very close at this point.
That being said, I imagine we're not going to see Azazas do anything with this bird. It'd be really nice to watch him quick swap over to the hammer and just smush it, but I don't think that's going to occur here. I do find it kind of interesting that Azazas with his NMG practice is much less likely to quick swap. And didn't
I think a lot of runners that have been playing for a while and have a lot of that NMG experience may just feel more comfortable taking a moment, breathing, going through the menu, and getting to where they need to, and not having to like furiously quick swap from one location to the other.
Yeah, that's a good point, although it does save a little bit of time.
It does, but when you get down to like quick swapping around the mirror, you definitely want to make sure you're accurate.
That is absolutely true.
Because no one has ever quick swapped to the mirror and exited a dungeon prematurely. That's never happened in the history of this game.
I'm pretty sure there's a move named after it, especially in this dungeon. Isn't that called the Misery Mirror?
Yeah. All right. Looked like just 1 key and some garbage on the right-hand side. Gonna head to the left here. Azaz's gonna check the Stealthos chest here, the Firelock chest north, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, key and a map over here, and then there's our first item, but still no big key.
No cutscene for Azaz's. Gonna head over to the lobby chest, and Top Life gonna head directly to the lobby. So if it's here, we just had another lead change. It is here, and we do have another lead change at this point.
Ooh, and then that fire bar getting in the way as Azazas has to walk.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention to where that fire bar leaves the screen as you're heading up to lobby chest, you can get caught by that fire bar pretty easily. If you do notice it heading south, you kind of want to head over to the left side of the bridge before running down so you can beat it on the way up.
Huh.
But it's a lot to pay attention to in a race this close, and feeling the stress here. You can easily miss where that's coming off the screen at. Because when it comes off the screen, it'll come back when you get back to the point where it respawns back in. It'll respawn typically on the right-hand side of that bridge.
Both runners setting up spooky there. Oh, there we go. Top life missed the first time. We're okay.
Yeah, with half magic, not going to have a bunch of a worry about running out of magic. You're trying to hit the spooky lich, even if you do miss it on the first attempt.
And Vidi is going to be an interesting boss fight here because we don't have anything to make it super easy. So it'll be interesting to see if both runners can pull off a one cycle here.
Yeah, I mean, ton of health. Also have a cape for backup if things get a little bit out of hand. Not a ton of magic for either runners, but spins take care of most of these eyeballs. Top Life does switch to cape to get rid of the rest of it. Pretty evenly matched here. We're going to be a few seconds apart as we leave. So that big key routing does get Top Life the lead back in as we exit Israel Meyer. About 15 seconds coming in for Azazas and about 5 seconds going out for Top Life.
All right. So we have a game. We have a game, don't we? And this game is going to end up deciding who wins this match, most likely. There are 22 locations in the basement of GT. One of them has the big key. You know how it goes. 1 through 22. Where is that big key? The funny part is we are so close that we're a dead rock away from having the other person be
the marker. Yeah,
because sorry, Top Life. I literally said that. So we are going to do count. Oh, we're going to do count based upon the first person into GT. So even if in this case Azazas gets into GT first and Top Life finds the big key first, it's still based upon Azazas' count.
Yeah, we don't have our typical big key guessing game botted here. I don't know if some of our moderators here in chat are going to put some opportunities for you to wager some valuable channel points on this. But get those numbers in and see how you feel about where we're going to find this big key. Hammer, where do you think the big key is going to be?
Man, I don't know. I kind of want it to be either super early or super late, so that routing doesn't really matter. Because, like, I feel like you play this rando, you run through the whole thing, and then you end up losing because you picked the wrong GT route. And that's just not fun. So I'm going to say, let's throw it in the vanilla, in its vanilla location. I don't have a number for it. I don't normally do numbers, but
yeah.
Just give it to me in that vanilla room, left-hand side chest. How about you?
I think we're going to find it in a rando room today. Which could make some interesting rounding decisions, pay off or not pay off. Azaz is going to be the first here into GT. Does pick up a few seconds back on Top Life. Top Life had some deadrock issues thanks to a certain commentator, and also chose, because of those deadrock issues, chose to take Super Bunny Cave up here instead of fighting off that room, or the room before Turtle Rock.
Alrighty, and we were both doing Hope Room first, which is relatively common, but as we're saying, okay, so Azazas, you can make the choice to go right, which Azazas is doing. Is Top Life going to mirror out? No. So it looks like we're going to get the same play out of both our runners.
Yeah, Azazas very smartly getting over to Fire Rod quickly before heading into the Skibdo room. Having to wait a little bit for that spike trap. Both runners, Top Life smartly getting in front of it and gets damage boost across. Going to pick up just a fraction of time there. And this is what we're down to. We're down to fractions. We are so close in this race right now.
I was going to say, at this point, the fractions matter, man. The fractions matter.
Every little thing matters here. Chest order. Nothing's going to be here on the right-hand side. We'll see both these runners grab the key and see if anyone decides to make the loop across. Doesn't look like it. I thought for a second Top Life might had that cape out, but both runners going to head over to the left-hand side now.
Yeah, and for those of you not counting with us, this is number 7 here on the torch. Bob gets to live, and Stealthless Room's up next.
Yeah, 4 items coming here in Stealthless Room, and then if we get past that point, then we have the map chest for, so this is 8 through 11, map chest will be 12.
While I'm at it, I don't think you picked a chest for rando rooms, so go ahead and get one of those 4, just so you can have a potential call in it. Because
top right.
Okay. Stealthos room loaded with the keys. Holy cow! Not the big one, but
all the small keys. if I continue singing, we'll get a DMCA.
That is that's presumptuous of you, my dear friend.
Number 12, the map chest 7, and a small 20. A piece of heart for Top Life as Top Life gets a friendly refill. As Oz is on that 14 hearts now. Top Life at 12. 12 is an interesting number. That's one less hit in the Ganon fight.
Yeah, good point.
It shouldn't come to that because we do have potions on both sides, but it is one less hit, one less piece of buffer in the Ganon fight between 12 and 13 hearts.
I mean, Ganon hugs hurt.
Everything with Ganon hurts in a hard mode when you're just on green mail.
That's fair. But Ganon hugs especially hurt. What's that, like 8 hearts? It's
yeah, neither runner's going to be able to take 2 Ganon hugs, but as Azazas should be able to take one more bat, as we do find I was one chest off. It was top left of Rando Room.
You were. That was very, very close.
And that is chest number 15. Loop through these runners. I see an X Bra, guess that. Let's see if anyone else did it. That's all I got in the buffer, so Umbra, congratulations on your prodigious prognostication.
That's a mouthful.
It is. It's so much of a mouthful. I thought of it and I couldn't even say it.
It's okay. That's better than me. I wouldn't even have thought about it. You know, my alliteration's a little different. I'd have been like, good guess.
All right, we are now here in the skill portion of the game. I mean, it's all skill portion, but this is all skill all the time. 5 rooms of combat called the Gauntlet. Very quickly through room number 1 for Zaz's. Top Life about to enter the Gauntlet as well. So 1 room difference between these two. Room and a half at this point.
Yeah, and this is called the Gauntlet because, as you can see, we have BMOS, we have ice, we have conveyors, we have RNG, because every single room, every single time, is just a little bit different.
Yeah, and this has been much cleaner for Azazas than it has for Top Life. Picking up probably 5 or 10 seconds in that set of rooms there for him. Quickly through land mode 2, has a little bit of magic. You only need a little bit of magic when you have half magic in the lamp. Actually, I don't even think you can exit that fight with 0 magic and still get up the climb.
Yes, because there are pots in that room that have it with half magic. I don't know that you'd have enough without it.
I don't think you have enough without it, but with half magic, you can leave there completely empty and have enough pots to get you through both these rooms and the torch room.
And yeah, Azaz is just tearing through this tower.
Missing that lamp hit there, not going to affect things. Still going to plenty of time to get on these stairs before they jingle. But he's going to does have to grab this magic pot. He's going to have to wait for the stairs at this point. Top Life with a little bit more magic will not necessarily have to wait for those stairs, so maybe a little bit of time to pick up there.
Goodness gracious. It's so hard to commentate this because I'm just mesmerized with how quickly they're going through stuff. Like, I want to say something, but I'm just sitting here like my jaw on the floor. Every time. It never gets old. Yeah, chat pointing out that Azaz has a 125 NMG time, so seeing this level execution from him, not surprising in the least. And we are not going to see the last chest in the game because, simply put, we do not have time. We are... No. Both these runners got to feel very, very behind at this point and are kind of looking... I don't know if they're the kind of runner to have the timer up, but you're getting close to getting this tower. You're going to bring it up here in a second. You're looking for... Oh, did they finish? Did they not finish? Where are we at? Yeah, this is one of those that as you get closer to like this 140 time, as I think that only counted as a double, unfortunately. Yeah, I think so as well. You start just staring at the racetime.gg because you know it's going to be a heartbreaker. Nicely done.
Yeah, very clean 3-cycle from Azazas. We'll see how Top Life deals with this pattern. Both runners getting the same pattern. That might have been a triple. I'm not sure.
It's so finicky, man. Like, you can hit him with all 3 bolts. And
that was 0, though. That's going to be a cycle lost for Top Life.
Not if that first one was a triple. Oh!
So tack on another 8 seconds or so to Azaz's lead as we head into the Ganon fight. Azaz going to be looking for the 1-1 here. For a top-tier MG runner, it should be a slam dunk, but things can happen in this fight. Does get the first part of the 1-1. Looking good for the second part here. Got a nice favorable position for Ganon. Can be really close to that wall, get those bounces. Does get bumped by the fire bats. Can take another hit. And still has that red potion in his possession. So should be okay from here.
Yeah, but at this point, you don't even want to waste time on sucking that thing down. If you
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't want to. That refill timer is going to be a long time with 14 hearts.
Nicely done, 1-1 for Top Life, and it is important to note that the Ganon teleports are going to be the same for both runners. So
yeah, so I was getting that free hit and still getting the torch glitch. So well done there. Very favorable position for Ganon for that. We're looking for triples from here on out. 3 hits every cycle.
Yep, and we only need 12 total, so we're at 7 more. Top Life getting the free hit as well.
Just a thing of beauty, and we are 1 bridge cross away. 1 bridge cross away. Get those GGs in chat ready for our runners, as both our runners are going to be coming across here right neck and neck, but we are going to have a decisive winner today, and that winner is Azazas.
Yep, get your GGs in chat. Azazas finishing in first place with a racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 35 seconds. And Top Life with just a couple more spins here. Yep, there it is.
Couldn't ask for a closer race than what we got today.
Whew, you could ask for a lower collection rate, though. My goodness.
And we'll see if we get our runners in here for a little bit of interview time afterward.
Triforce text being encouraging as Top Life finishes with official SRL time, racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 7 seconds. So only 32 seconds separating our runners. Speaking of, GGs.
Yeah, we got Azazas and Top Life in here. GGs to both of you. What a fantastic race from both of you.
Yeah, GG is a nice race. Yeah, must have been interesting to watch.
Oh, it was. This is definitely up there on the list of seats that I'm happy I got to commentate and happy I didn't have to run.
I mean, just go to pod, right? I don't know.
Or just
was
do
easy.
the mount the first time you're up there. That's my thing. I guess I could have sequence broken eyes, but I don't think I will still have gone back up to the mountain. So
yeah, there were a lot of interesting decision points in this race. I think the one that was leaving me and Hammer on commentary the most interested is Oz. You found that book in Pyramid Fairy, and you immediately went to check both tablets, and then headed over to Turtle Rock. We were having a thought of possibly going over and checking Skull Woods and Pedestal at that point first. I don't know what was going through your mind at that point in the race.
I don't know. I kind of wanted like item density, and well, also I checked Bombos because it was completely isolated at that point. And that book smelled really bad. But yeah, that was then when Turtle turned out to be empty, which I was really surprised about. Not gonna lie. And yeah, I prioritized School Woods mainly for checking the pedestal and getting the green pendant before heading onto pod. Yeah, this seed definitely didn't ask for that. It probably shows that neither of us kinda read that correctly, if it was even possible to read this.
Yeah, this was a hard one to read from the what was given to you with Turtle Rock. It looked from us from our perspective too that we figured when Topplife went into Turtle Rock after finding that fire rod that there was going to be something in there, and it just turned up completely barren.
Yeah, it all boils down, for me at least, I had to go into Turtle Rock. Like, I gambled that I could do the Dark Death Mountain with the Light World Death Mountain. So I kind of wanted something extra, either a hookshot or a fire rod or Turtle Rock entrance. So if I clear the Light World, I won't go back up to the Dark Mountain for a while. But when I'm there, I just clear so much more.
So actually, both of you immediately walked into Hera, grabbed those boots, and then went, bye! So both of you made that play. And yeah, Topplife, you were the first person into TR by a significant margin. And Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I had a hope. I also hoped that the Turtle Rock was quake locked. But it was was close enough, since it was just right next door. I guess it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but I didn't even have the fire rod for forever. Where was it?
Fire rod was in Myershed, and you guys you two
right.
had a split after finding those boots and getting access to the Dark World. Topplife, you chose to go to Kakariko and south, and Azaz, I think you went to back up the mountain at that point. So you right. Cleared out Dark Death Mountain other than Turtle Rock at that point, because at that point you didn't have the fire rod, didn't have access to a lot up there. But Topplife chose to do the Kakariko or the Village Outcast loop around, found that flute, and then found the fire rod.
Yeah, so he had an extra mountain climb in total then, I guess.
But in the end, it all came looping in when you both of you entered GT maybe 5 seconds apart from each other at the end of things. It was neck and neck, right next to each other for the last 3 dungeons.
Yeah, that's the kind of end games that we all love to see, at least.
Absolutely. I'd much rather watch one of those than race one of those.
But yeah, just GG's sick race top, and we'll be back on Wednesday at the same time. So
yeah, GG.
Yeah, so mark that one down as a race that you definitely want to see, because, well, I feel like I don't have to speak for this race. I mean, look at the ending times, look at the collection rates coming up in a minute. They darn near full cleared the seed in an hour 40.
All right, so thanks again to Azaz and Topplife for joining us here. GG's to both of you, and fantastic race as always. We've got more races going on today too. Right now, if you want to hop on over to our sister channel, SpeedGaming 2. P-Train and 1UP. The last race of the second round. Game 3 of that matchup has just started a little bit ago, maybe 10-15 minutes ago. So racing that, and then tonight we've got 2 more races as well. One here on SpeedGaming, we'll have a Skier Lifeform versus Jet 082, and then on SpeedGaming 2, Ganon's Gone Wild versus Wayne. Those are starting at 8:10 Eastern on SpeedGaming and 9:10 Eastern on SpeedGaming 2. So tons of racing here on this holiday here in the States.
Yeah, very much so. And we are getting down to the portion of the brackets where every race, every matchup is going to just be insane. And hopefully we're going to be getting a bunch more of these very, very close races. I would prefer that they have a little bit of a lower time. You know, let's not have to clear the whole seed every time, because that can get stressful for our runners, I do know. But this was a very close race and a blast to watch. So definitely keep an eye out on the schedule. Keep an eye out for these on these Speed Gaming channels, because they do have a bunch of Zelda stuff and a bunch of other randomizers and speedrun stuff that they do. So, whew.
Yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. Also, give our runners a follow. Thank them for putting on such a good race today. Azazas and Topplife, you got those Twitches in the chat for you. Also, if you want to pop a follow over to our tracker, 2D Tones, keeping us on our toes and keeping us informed throughout this race. And if you like what I heard from us, you can drop us a follow as well. Got those in the chat for you too. Hammer, it's been a blast.
It has been. It's been absolutely insane, and it's a blast coming with you. So hopefully we will see you guys around soon. As you can see, these collection rates coming through and being, I'll just leave it at much higher than ideal. But yeah, that's it. That's all for us. You guys have a great afternoon, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Have a good one.